Stella's really snoring over there. So, let's see. There was like a few things I wanted to talk about. One of the things is like yesterday it was the full moon started, and I think that is why I woke up. And then I think that is when it was supposed to be going full, and I didn't even realize it. But anyways, when I woke up, it was just weird all day yesterday. It was like super intense. Like, oh my God, it was a hard day to get through. I don't even know how to explain some of this stuff. It is like, I don't even know. I like trying to explain what's going on inside my body and not being able to feel inside of it and have all these weird things. It's like, man, am I turning into a light being? Like am I losing my body? The more that you become aware of what this place is and stuff, the more you disconnect from it or something. I don't even know. I swear to God at this point. But yesterday I was really struggling. It felt like if I was splitting into more than one person or something, and it was intense. I had to just keep laying down, and I swear I wanted to just sleep through the whole day. It was so crazy. And luckily Stella was also, she seems to be having the same symptoms as me, and she was also I turned on some movie or something, and we just both laid down and went to sleep. And I just like slept off and on all throughout the day. But I still did my, I still did TikTok. They only take a minute. It's not like, the only thing that takes long is when you go on and scroll and you try and find out what's going on. That is what takes long. But going on and just putting a video on only takes a minute. And sometimes you are doing a video, you're waiting for it to download, and the videos are playing, and so automatically you start seeing, and that is usually, I'll see something on there, it's just like I've got to go say something. And one of the things that is just really gets me is I feel kind of bad about the trans community right now, because they're about to be hit really hard. And it is these people are already in a state of an identity crisis and insecurities and stuff, and going outside of themselves for approval and messing with the physicality of oneself. And so they got a lot of shit going on that they're going to be facing. A lot of them, I don't think will get through it, because it's going to be a lot. There's a lot of people who are going to be facing a lot of stuff, man, a lot. But the one of the things that was just really getting me is these. Okay, so they were born boys, but then they became girls or women. They just skip the whole girl, skip that and just go straight into being women. And then it's so funny too, because it's how they perceive femininity or so. So they're always like over the top, It's like but they're the leaders of the women now. So, and they think that being woke is the same as awakening. Like they don't have any idea. Like they'll come in and say, "Well, you're just not awake." Okay. Go look into eugenics, please. And so then, but I had seen where there's these ones, and they're always these really big, huge people. Like this one was like, I swear to God, it looked like she was like 6'3", 250, maybe 300, and short red curly hair. I mean, she could get extensions or something. Just very boyish looking. There was nothing girly looking about this person. But then there was the mockers, because the people who like to be divided, who like to say shit and be rude to other people for no fucking reason, were mocking them. I don't know what it was. There's a lot of different protests. There's a lot of stuff going on. There was a protest the other day, I think, of all of all of that. And that is where they cut ties with a certain group, which is leaving them in isolation too. That is a T. And it is because they want to disconnect because of the grooming situation, and they don't want to be a part of this stuff with the kids because they just want to be accepted and, be, hey, I want to love who I want to love, so just leave me be. And so they're cutting ties. And the T people have got, they're very, you got to think about a lot of these boys who grew up, I don't know what they went through, why they decided that they were women or why they felt like they were girls or whatever. And so, and then psychology or our system isn't going to help them process in a good way that's going to be productive for them. Why would they do that when they could profit off of surgeries and drugs and all insecurities and fuck, no, they're not going to fucking try and help you. They don't make money off of you doing good. They make money off of you doing bad. So you've got these grown-ass people who have not healed anything. And now they're getting triggered. So there's one, it was like, I don't know, it sounded like two teenage boys, seriously, mocking this person. I don't remember what they were saying, hey man, or hey dude, or something like that to him. And this big person turns around and is like, it says it real deep voice too, I'm a woman. And starts coming at him like she's ready to fucking take them. Let's do this. And the guy was like, fuck. And I have seen so many, not as linebacker size. There's some that are linebacker size, of course, but there's a lot that are just large men. And I've seen them, oh my God, up in people's faces, hitting, screaming. There was a protest the other day, and I'm not even sure where or what. Going to the protest to me is insane. That is danger zone at this point. And there's going to be so much more violence at these, and there probably is, and we're not even knowing about it. But, and there's so many. Even the ones where I see the footage, like in France and stuff, and thank you to the French people. Fucking hell yeah. I didn't even know Black Rock, the main place, was there. I was like, hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Go in and fucking tear it down. That's some bullshit. And so, man, I just felt like a huge step forward for mankind. I swear to God. I went in and it's just like, we see you. We know what you're doing, and we're not standing for it anymore. And it was like, oh, so fucking cool. So, anyways, it was some protest, and there's another man, but it's a woman now, and she had a little bit longer hair, but you can just tell. There's not very many that you really can't tell. Most of them, you can tell. And it would be confusing to people. I don't understand why they get so offended. I'm sure your feelings get hurt. Maybe you look in the mirror and you see a beautiful woman. But when you're out in the world, people don't see what you see. And you just have to accept that, we all do. It's just a part of life. There's lots of people, I'm sure, that look in the mirror. There's lots of guys, especially, that look in the mirror and they think, fuck, I'm hot as shit. And then they go out in the world and they don't get, the way that they think that they should be treated. And it has to do with what's inside, I don't get stuck on what's on the outside. But so, or these people are violent and getting up and hitting. This one person was, I think that their sign said protect the kids. Is all it was something like protect the kids. And this person went up and was screaming, so aggressive. Anyone who has been in an abusive situation in a marriage or something, fucking trigger warning on that, fucking watching that shit. Watching someone be treated like that out in public by a stranger. And being so aggressive and getting in your face. And then after all the screaming and getting in their face and being so like that, it started hitting them. And tearing at them, breaking their shit. It's like, okay, y'all are losing your fucking minds. And now there was the one who went and did the shoot up thing. But they got the progressives, don't forget, saying, Christians don't have any worth. Fucking let's get rid of those motherfuckers, kill them. And I mean, when Jane Fonda is going on The View and saying shit like that, I mean, it's so fucking. So the there was another one that she goes by Lily. She was born another linebacker looking fella, like huge guy. Well, the pictures look huge. You can't really tell someone's size until you see them next to other people. But so in the pictures, it looked like a big person. And so anyways, and I don't care. You want to call yourself a girl. If you're a big old guy, you're a danger to a lot of us. A lot of us. So this one got caught. They already had the manifesto. They were going to go do another one of those. And so who knows, like with the extremists in that group who are talking, because they're convinced like we're the problem. Like, so I had done a couple videos yesterday, and it really triggers some of those people. And I felt really bad for this one, because they really think they're educating me, like, oh, that doesn't happen to kids. No, they have to wait. You don't get bottom surgery. Because I was like, these parents out here who are making decisions for your kids, that your child is going to use a vagina dilator for the rest of his life, or a penis pump, which, if you're using a penis pump, are you really getting the sensations that you want to get? Like, I'm not sure. Like, I think that they've probably lost some sensation by getting these things, but the people wouldn't know because they're getting it done before they've even experienced orgasm or intercourse. So, how are they going to know if they have less sense, you know what I'm saying? And so, not even just those two things. I just saw Jazz's mom, like Jazz, like one of the most famous ones. Saw her mom. Somebody did a TikTok of her, and she was. I mean, she's kind of a. I don't. It bothered me how she was just like, well, if we have to go take that dilator in there to Jazz and put the lube on it ourselves and stick it in there, I'll do it, because she won't do it. And it's just going to close up. When she goes to college, it's just going to close up because nobody's doing it. Like, it was going like that for a couple minutes. And it was like, oh my God, like the tediousness of having to stretch it out, because I don't think it feels good if you're having to stretch something open. I mean, just think about when you have to put your earrings back through when it's closed over. So yeah, I don't think it feels good. I'm just sad for these kids. Yeah, but this person was telling me, how, they've transitioned, and most kids don't get bottom surgery. It's not, and all this stuff. But I'm basing it on the kids I'm seeing detransitioning, that have gone one direction and what they're saying. And, I'm glad that these people are finding themselves. I wish that there would be better guidance when they started having, that interference of being confused, because, I think having a spiritual person, like, where they try and tell them, go talk to a priest or something like that, that's fucking, nobody needs that bullshit. When you go talk to a spiritual person, though, and find out, like, well, yeah, your soul doesn't have a gender. You have no gender identity. You're born into an experience. You're born in so that you can experience, and part of your experience may be the awkwardness, the feeling of what it feels like to be the other gender. Like, you're here for that experience. And, messing around with God's will or whatever you want to call it, I mean, it's your own design. And then you're fighting yourself, trying to change things. So, anyways, I think that a lot of people, once they start realizing this is the journey to self-love, this is the journey to self-acceptance, then you see, like, that's your challenge right off the bat, your challenges. So you got to recognize your challenges. And anyways, but, oh my God, I was totally attacked yesterday. Like, there was so many hateful messages. I couldn't even believe it. Like, you can't say your opinion about, like, you shouldn't be putting this on kids. Kids should get to make the decision for themselves when they're grown-ups. They should decide. I mean, you're locking somebody into pharmaceuticals for the rest of their life, and more things, obviously. And no telling even, I mean, this is all new stuff. No telling how some of this stuff is going to age. I've heard from some older trans people who have aged some of the big issues that they've had, but the surgeries have changed and stuff. But that's the thing, is like, you don't know what all is going to happen as you age. I mean, a regular woman's vagina will close by itself. And if there's no use of it, it's atrophy. Everything, like, as you age, if you stop using your muscles, they just atrophy. You have to continue to use everything that you have, or it will just, go away. So, anyways, I was just being totally attacked. Like, they just come in and say weird shit. Like, one of the people came in and told me, you need to go floss. I need to go floss? I floss every day. Like, I need to go floss? Okay, I got some crooked teeth. I got some tea stains. And then the cameras make it look like your teeth are more yellow than they are. But how fucking rude. You know what? I saw a woman who was talking about, she was doing a video showing this video she had, where she was, I think she was crying. She was in a panic attack, a whole video of, like, where she's, like, reaching out for somebody, like, fuck. She was losing it. And she got rude responses, and she was commenting back on one of them because they were telling her to go pluck her chin hairs. I mean, I hope you're not real people. I hope, people are not that fucking rude and shallow that, I got nothing to say, but I'm just going to ridicule you and make you feel bad, because that's all I got. It's like, and, and then on here, Ray, like, I don't know, Ray, like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, like, that I'm being so negative. Like, I'm not going to change myself. If I'm negative to you, we're not in alignment. Like, you got to find somebody that you are more on the same wavelengths with. If you're hearing negativity from me, that it rubs you the wrong way, it's up to you to go find your group, your tribe, your people. Say in a group where you're just, like, irritated and angry and mad and gonna comment, you're just not. It's like, besides the fact, I honestly don't know what you're talking about on being so negative. Like, I feel like I'm trying to get people to understand, like, let go of all of this stuff. We're moving into better times. Like, so I don't know. All I can say is, I mean, you've made lots of comments where I've irritated you or angered you in some way. So, I would say, you should probably just go find, there's tons and tons of people. I mean, there's an endless amount of people out there talking in all different perspectives, and you go on your journey and find somebody you're in alignment with, so you feel more like you've got your tribe, or, people around you that are on your same wavelength. Not that you are, you come into a certain group and then you want change. Y'all better change for me. Don't talk about this. Don't talk about that. I don't like it. Well, go find somebody who's talking about shit you like to talk about. That's what I would say. Like, I've talked about that before. Like, I don't understand. Even when I'm on TikTok and I see people all the time, I see them all the time saying shit that I'm like, what the fuck? And it'll piss me off. It'll make me angry. And I just know I'm not going to go in and calm. I'm not going to go in and tell them, like, you better change. You need to be somebody different. They're on their journey to figure that out. It's not. And as soon as I feel that triggered in me, like that I want to control somebody else's attitude or what they see, their perspective, I got to go. It's my sign to me. Like, because I don't want to be somebody who is telling others how they have to be, how they have to exist. And, we want to open society where people can be themselves, and not be forced to please other people. And, you know, and all of us have to learn to accept people, even if we don't agree with them. It's like, well, you know, you gotta accept them. It doesn't mean we have to sit and hang out with them. But, you know, and, you know, throughout this process, you know, it's a fucking, it's a ride, man. And you change, you know, you change your perspective throughout it. You know, just like, oh, one thing I thought was kind of interesting is so yesterday after I was talking about this place isn't like a pancake, like what they trying to say, how it's like the toroidal field. And it's really like this energetic place where it was like a hologram because the energy is like a stage. And so anyways, then a little while later, I saw in the CIA, somebody was sharing the CIA files that they were looking in. And that was in the CIA files. So they show it as, they say the north, okay, so how we call it the poles, the North Pole and the South Pole. Only I said they're like this, rather. It's like a hole. And then down here is a hole, and those are the poles. And then, so that's what they show in the CIA thing in their drawing. They show it as open at the top, and they call that I think they call it the black hole and the light hole, I think. They call them, they don't call them the north and south. They call them like the light and the dark. And so you can see how that is going to flip. Like it's going to flip the stage or something. So then they have it as, so it kind of, their drawing looked kind of like a hourglass. And so the top was the dark pole or the dark hole. And then it goes down, and then in the waist part, you know, the part where it comes in smaller, that they're saying that that's where we are. That's where we reside, is kind of in the middle. And then down under. So this energetic charge is what keeps this energy in here where we are all at. And but we aren't really all here. I mean, we're just viewing ourselves. So, but when we view ourselves, we get the whole fucking package. We get to feel it too. And it is, you know, it's intense. It's intense to feel sick and shit. Like, it's aggravating because it's like they are interfering with that magnetic force. And I think that's what they do with CERN and stuff. So, you know, with their frequencies and their chemicals and all their stuff, they are messing with all of this. It's no surprise that there's so many other beings here to put a stop to it. And that the Anunnaki would be on their way. Like, it's no surprise. Like, y'all fucking around with shit you shouldn't be fucking around with. And something just popped into my head. Oh, yeah, because they also say extraterrestrial, but extraterrestrial really means the other lands. So the lands beyond the landmass that they give us, that they tell us is what exists. So it's all the other land masses. And then if you think about their toroidal field thing, then so if we're like in this middle section, and then in all of the different, like that's how we have inner earth and all of that stuff, because it's all these different vibrations. It was kind of like one of the things that I was shown was like water coming out of a fountain. And so if you think about the water coming out of the fountain, so at the pressure point where it's first coming out, that's a certain vibration. And so as the water goes up, that's another vibration, another vibration, another vibration, another vibration, another vibration, as it flips over and spews down another vibration. And so all those different vibrations have possibilities of existence. I heard somebody yesterday say that all beings that are here were all of 4 vibrations. I don't know. But I know that we're not all like low vibration like how it appears. That is... that's part of the game. I know people, any kind of, that's what people have to understand. Any conscious energy is a higher vibration. Like we're way higher vibration than like free energy or like these energy bodies that are out, you know, trying to find a home. And I've seen so much more about that now too, where people are starting to understand, like, that those are the attachments that people get, especially when you go through abuse and stuff. And most people, I mean, it's part of the journey. I mean, most people get attachments at a young age. It's your discernment. It's what you feed. It's like feeding. Do you feed the light or feed the dark? Is each person has to figure that out for themselves. It's your discernment. It's part of the game. It's part of you to figure out. It's your communication. It's your energy. It's like, what do you do if there's interference? Can you recognize interference? How do you go about, what you're putting out? I just saw this one too. I did a bunch of videos yesterday. I've done a bunch in the past couple days. And one of the people came in and started telling me I was so... you're not spiritual. You're very negative. You just, say really judgmental things. And so then my response to her was, kind of like what you're saying to me. Like, what the hell? You're coming in judging me, telling me that I'm judgmental, and you're telling me I'm wrong for being judgmental. Like, what the fuck? Like, God damn. And maybe it is judgmental to say, you shouldn't be putting this on your kids. There's this other woman too, and the stuff that she's saying, she kind of reminds me of me, only we have different platforms. Her platform is very, but she's just like a regular woman. She don't really wear a lot of makeup. She's just, kind of level-headed. And her point that she's making, that she's so outraged about, is these people who are exploiting their children. And it's the same thing. It's children exploitation for the trans community. And, and as a child who has grown up, who had experienced a lot of sexual exploitation, then you recognize, like, you don't want someone else to go through that. So you have, like, I want to put a stop to that. Kids don't fucking know. You can go and tell them, okay, well, you're going to have to use a vagina dilator for the rest of your life. Okay, they're not going to, you're going to be on pharmaceuticals for the rest of your life. And you're going to be judged. You're never going to feel like you fit in. You're going to be something in the middle. You're not going to be either anymore, no matter how much you try and push that. Like, they're not going to understand that. And then they're pushing so hard. They're getting so much pushback right now. And, I really do feel really just horrible for a lot of these people who are they're going to go through so much stuff. Like, it's already happening. Like, it's already happening for a lot of people. And it's only going to get so much more intense. Like, this energy is going to be so intense. I mean, like, all these energy things we're going through is nothing compared to when you see the truth. And I swear to God, I really wish I could think of somebody that I have talked to that sees the truth, that sees what I see. Whether or not somebody thinks it's the truth or not, that's fine. I don't, my truth is my truth. And when I hear people, even spiritual people out there, talking about Jesus, hearing them talking about what's going on, and they don't have a clue. Like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I can see what's going on. So, and I don't, see a lot of other people who seem to understand. They don't put it all together about the money, the age of Aquarius, about the end of a time and the beginning of a new one, about the process to release and all that stuff. They are just all stuck on the different things that are happening. And one of the things, this morning I got my check. So my one check was my disability check. That comes from an insurance company, which, they're all going to be going bankrupt. So I don't think there's going to be insurance. I think insurance is going to be a thing of the past. You know, I mean, it's just part of the system of to trapping us and making us pay for bullshit. Even like right now, so you know, I haven't paid my house payment yet. And, you know, with all this stuff going on, especially because that judge said you don't have to pay it anymore. And all these contracts are becoming null and void. And even though they're dragging this out, I know what's going to go down. You know, they're already, after they killed the Cash App guy, then right away they put in the Fed Now thing. And so it is every single thing that you purchase has to go through the government. The government decides if you're going to be allowed to purchase it. And everything is going to be online, digital. It's like you can't sneak and go get cash and go, you know, go get weed, go get nails, go do your lashes or whatever. No. The government will decide how you're allowed to spend your money, and they're going to decide based on this carbon footprint and shit. But that's their system. You know, that's the system that is going to go down with the government. So I don't know how long we have to, you know, it's going to drag out, but that system is going down because it's the quantum system is a system of the future. That's going to be, you know, the wave of the future. It's going to be everything about. So everything else they're trying to do is just more traps and more holding us back. And, you know, even the thing with covering the sun so much, where I keep hearing people talk about it, is that all these downloads or these ejections and all of this insights, all this stuff coming through the ethers, that they're blocking it out with the sun. I mean, with the spraying. I think that they're also making us sick as fuck. But also with the ascension symptoms, things where I'm hearing people talk about, I've got a lot of the things that they're talking about. Like all of a sudden with this weird, I've had these weird pain things, the burping thing, the not being able to, like some of these are complaints I've had for a long time, and that's where I start feeling like, man, was it chemicals or something? But it's something where I heard a guy talking about it the other day, where I heard a couple people, where I started recognizing, oh, that is more like what he's talking about than what, so there is some things changing. And so, you know, I think it is like the energy on the planet, the something with how our atmosphere, something is changing, our how, I don't know how to explain it, because it isn't like we're moving, but it is like we're moving. It is like kind of, yeah, if the fountain, if the water that was coming out here, if it moved, like if it was more in the high vibration. But it's still, like, there is movement. I mean, we have actual movement because the earthquake, like there's a whole bunch of earthquakes, like in California is totally flooded and underwater in parts, of course, the farmland. But so that is like, I think there's going to be some big earthquakes that are going to be in LA coming up real soon. And there's already some big ones all over the place. And then they, you know, there's a reverberation that's going on under the ground, underneath us, with all of these, everything switching and changing. And so it is movement, but it isn't like, you know, I think that this splitting of the two earths is kind of symbolic or something. I don't think it's actually going to go into, there's going to be the old earth where the people who are just negative are going to stay and keep being on Fed Now and 15-minute cities and shit like that. And then the other people who want freedom are going to go into the, I don't know. I mean, we still got to just see how this all goes, like with this rapture and what people are leaving and which ones are staying. Like, I think that there's going to be a lot more people who are about to die. My stepdad just died. You know how I said that? My ex-stepdad, like, he left us a long time ago. But He just died. And then yesterday, his mom died. So there's going to be a lot of people who are going to go together too, like family members and stuff. They're going to go, and then right away another one will go and stuff. And when people understand more of like soul stuff and, you know, the reasons why, you know, I mean, they're go together or whatever, there's reasons, you know, in the soul world. There's not all about this loss and stuff, what we experience here. That loss and what we experience is part of to help us become more, not apathetic, but to just care more, to have more vision, to understand more. So, you know, anyways, a bunch of things coming into my head, and it keeps like coming in, and I'm gonna try and catch what there's a bunch of let's see, the earthquakes. There's a lot of talk about the guy in Brazil who went in and axed all those kids in that school, and you know, and that's coming up right at the time of all of this stuff, and especially in Tennessee, like there's a bunch of stuff going on, and because they just had that other one at that little school, and but where people are saying, you know, well, I guess we better outlaw axes because, you know, I mean, you can't get a hold of these, you're gonna run and get something else, aren't you? So, you know, I mean, the whole thing is just the government wants to put pressure on us so that we will turn them over, so we'll be easy pickings. That's all they care about. And for our military is down by a huge percent. Like we're down 10,000 soldiers or something. Like there's a whole reason why they mandated and then they kicked people out. And now they're trying to tell people, if you don't come back, you're counted as AWOL and be arrested. Like this chaos is over the top. And there's men being arrested. Like there are obviously soldiers all over the place around here. Yesterday there was like an emergency alert person on warning on TikTok, and I don't think I saw it yesterday, but I just saw it today. But he said yesterday there was 4 nuke planes up in the air. He said he said he never had seen that before, and so that we should all know. And I don't even know, you know, what that even means. Nuke planes in the air? Like, are they to stop it or to start it? Like, I don't even know. So I wouldn't want to drive around in a nuke plane. Like, fuck. Anyways, you know, who knows? I bet this is not going to stop. I mean, this stuff with the money is crashing. There's more and more and more. There's so many more people now who are on the other thing. It's like we're like last. I think Canada and America seem to be like really going through hell together. Canada just got a blizzard yesterday afternoon or something, and I think it was Quebec and Ontario. I'm not sure though, but like 1 million people had no power or something. It was like a huge blizzard snowstorm or something, and they were expecting that they wouldn't be having power for a couple days. There was like 120,000 people. Maybe it was 120,000 with no power, but it was 1 million that are affected by the storm or something. I don't know. But I mean, this is ridiculous too. I mean, fucking April. But and I just saw this sign thing yesterday because of the floods in California, and they said it's going to probably affect Coachella. I mean, people just keep on going about like, oh, I would go to Coachella. I'm gonna go down to this protest. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go do that. Like people don't even understand the danger they're walking into. I bet, you know, everybody's soul is here to learn their stuff. Like it's their own shit, man. Like I wouldn't go to, but there's all these people who keep going to concerts I've seen, and people leaving, you know, concerts early saying that it is creepy, that there's demons, like they're doing rituals. There's all sorts of weird shit going on. And so I don't know. I just know that there is like the end is it is like I keep hearing the end is near. It is, the end is near. But it is like that they are, it's like they're not seeing what is around them. Like you're not understanding what is happening here. You're just going to go off and go to Coachella? Like what bands are even playing? Like, man. And I still like, I mean, you still have these people who, you know, they'll put on a dress and go out and walk in heels. I think it's part of the humiliation ritual or something. Like I'm not even sure. Like there's just so much weirdness. Like it's so weird. Like some of this stuff. And it is weird how like these people don't understand that it is part of the sterilization agenda. Like to be taking these kids procreation away from them, and y'all are doing it to your own kids. And that is another thing too, because the other videos that I do that say anything about boomers, then those ones, oh my god damn, I swear to God, you want to trigger some people, talk about trans people and talk about boomers, and you will fucking trigger the fuck out of people. And even when I said about most of these people who have a problem with the boomer, it's a mommy and daddy issue, a grandma, grandpa issue. And how many of them come in and say, well, you know, my dad, he says this. So all of you think this way. All of you voted for Reagan. You brought this country down. It's your fault. It's like, motherfucker, I didn't vote for Reagan. What the fuck? Quit generalizing. Quit fucking telling we're all lumped in together. Like, what in the hell? Like, it is weird, man. And the weirdest thing is that they are so eager to put us all on the chopping block and tell us, oh, you failed here, you failed there. Well, at least my parents should admit what they did wrong. If they want to have a relationship with me, they better admit it. To me, it's like you're putting it all on them. They should be the one to fix this relationship. You shouldn't have to do anything. You know, you should just sit back and be the victim until they figure out how to fix it. And if they don't, well, it's their fault. You know, don't take responsibility for your relationships. And then also the biggest thing to me, and I've said it before, is that these people who are not on the chopping block yet, like all of the boomers, you know, we're up there on the chopping block. We're being told everything in this planet is your fault. If you would have voted this way, if you would have done this, if you wouldn't have done this. Like, I mean, it's insane, the shit that these people come in and think and say. And it's like, fuck, it's so mental. It's so fucking, this division that is so fucking created. And it's so fucking, it's absurd, some of this shit. And it's like, quite obviously, they quit teaching critical thinking and not to stereotype and not to generalize. Like that, I think, became a part of that. We want you to generalize. That's why they started the fucking labels. You got, I mean, apparently we have not just Gen Z, Gen X, Gen A, millennials. Like, I don't even know. Like, I think, how do these people don't even see it? Like, all of a sudden, the millennials and the Gen Z, like, where do you guys think they're coming up with these fucking labels? Like, it's weird. And the thing is as long as there's the ones above that you can blame, they're on the chopping block. But all these people who are doing this shit to their kids, they haven't gotten to that top tier yet. They aren't up there yet. Getting there, everybody's fingers pointed at them and everything you did wrong. Oh, you voted for Joe? You actually voted for that guy? You fucking let me, a child, decide that I wasn't what I was born? You wouldn't help me identify what I was? Like, they're gonna fucking, it's gonna hit them, you know, at some point. I don't know how this is gonna go down, because I don't know, is that the people who will stay back on the negative negative charge to earth for a while. Because that was another thing I heard too, that we were going to leave in waves. Or not leave, not, I mean, it doesn't mean like leave the planet. Like I think the rapturing is when you don't, you can't meet the vibration, and or that you are here to just be a trigger for somebody else's growth. So I think that it isn't like that we're leaving. I think it is more like our lives are going to start going better from the choices that we make and how we view the world and our perspective. And so I think that there's going to be a lot of people where things are going to start going better for them. And the other people are, who are trapped in the agenda. And, I mean, when you, like, don't tell me I'm not woke. Go fucking look up, you go look up some of this shit and decide for your fucking self. Like, you still feel comfortable doing some of this shit when you know that there's a fucking agenda by the people who are running this motherfucker to get rid of us, and they don't want us to have kids for ourselves, that they want us to make them in labs because they have control, and what they're doing is fucking sick. And I just saw footage of a Chinese orphanage. They literally had kids tied into chairs that they sit in, the toilet chairs, so they can go potty all day. So they just are tied, literally tied onto toilet chairs, infants, because there's nobody to watch them or hold them or take care of them. And then even the littler toddlers come up and hit them and stuff like that. Oh, fuck, man. Fuck, I swear to God, this place is so toxic and so negative and full of so much pain. And that, and that's not God doing that stuff. That is each soul. Each soul is coming up with these, or groups of souls. They come in to play these stories out. Like, we are the creators. We create this stuff. You're allowed to create whatever you want to create. There's no God over you saying, oh, no, that's, you can't do that. No, if you can learn from it, hell yeah, get in there and do it. But fucking hell, to witness this shit and to see, because anybody who has empathy, just feel the pain. Like, fuck, I see that footage. And just the pain in these kids' faces is just, oh my God, it hurts in my soul. So, and there's, more stuff that I've seen about the, I've talked about it before, but even here, they've got the farms, like, I mean, they use people just like people use dogs for breeding. Like, it's the same thing. And, but, I mean, that is where people have to see, we're disrespecting animals and, we're treated like animals. And, one thing too, yesterday, I was so irritable, man. And, Stella wanted to go out for a while. It's raining and cold. And, so I went and took her, and she was having a horrible stomach problem too yesterday. And all she wanted to do was eat the grass. And there's been so many times where people would say, oh, you shouldn't let the dogs eat grass. Oh, don't eat grass and stuff. And then more recently, I had seen that dogs need to eat grass in the spring because it does something to get their system started for the new season or something. There's something in the grass that does something inside of them. And so while I'm sitting here, like, she's just out grazing like a fucking cow. And standing there just getting more and more irritated. This is not a walk. And her stomach was making so much noises. She's standing out there just farting, and her stomach's gurgling. She's just got a mess going on. And she even had to stop and do a poop a couple times, and it was like mucusy. And so I knew she was really struggling. She's just chowing down on that grass. And I knew, like, to me, it's like I have learned that you got to respect the animals to know what the animals, like, they know. Like, even with the gross ass water, Like, people are always like, don't let him drink that water, that's sick. And but I've watched her. I've watched her go up and smell different waters and walk away from them. She knows, like, she knows what she can do. Like, I don't think that we need to be bossing them, monitoring them on a human scale. Like, they are animals and they know how to survive. You know, I mean, they know how to survive without us, but there sure is a lot of fucking, I've seen so many videos of these dog rescues and animal abandonment, and oh my God. And just sad things out there. So much sad things with, you know, a part of what some people have to wake up to is treating something bad, you know, being really horrible to an animal or whatever, so that you can understand that there's a lot of stuff to understand. Like, I can't even break it all down because there's so many things for each person, each individual, whatever they're going through, it's for their better, for their to improve themselves. And you know, that's what people have to just really recognize, is that everything, no matter if it's traumatic and hard, and it's all for you, your betterment in the end. It is, you know, it's the challenges, it's how you get through them. That is the part of yourself that you are being witnessed, is, you know, how you push through, how you do it. And I think a lot of it is too, is how we feel, what we think about things. That's why I'm always telling them. Like, I tell them, you know, what I think about this, or how I feel, or what it feels like to go through it, what it feels like to be here, experiencing it. And yesterday, I was so frustrated. Fuck. I was just like, fucking take me out of here. Like, have a fucking tree fall on me and Stella right now. Just drop a tree on us, please. Let us get the fuck out of this place. Didn't do it. They're like, no, you're staying. You've got something to do. You better stay there. It's like, oh, this is so hard. So hard. Wow, my God, there's so much pain and so much suffering, so much tragedy. Fuck, so many people, I'm sure on every platform, asking for money, asking for help. You know, I was like, and, you know, I know a lot of people, you know, they have to do it for themselves. You have to serve, you have to save yourself. That's part of the achievement, is what you do for you. And, oh, what I'll tell you, the thing I did for me yesterday, or this morning, so when my check went in, I got more silver. So, and I really have come to the recognition of, you know, I told them all, you know, to go do it. I told them to start watching the market. I've told them and told them. Nobody would listen to me. And so when things flip and things are going good I'm not going to feel bad about it. I'm not going to feel guilty. You know, I mean, at this point, I believe won't ever have to work or worry. Even if they take Social Security away, even if the insurance company fails, even if I never get another fucking follower on here and I just blow off, you know, what my station is, or my channel is taken away from me, and none of my paintings sell, like, then I still feel like I would be fine, just because I've invested into silver. And I think that is, you know, I mean, so I had told my daughter, you know, I'm not going to pay my house payment. And she was like, still sorry. She was like, well, I don't want you to lose the house. Like, why not? Like, nobody fucking comes here. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere by myself. And, you know, it's a big thing for anybody to come. It's like, I mean, I don't know. It was just really like, why? Why would it matter if I lose this house? It'd be like the fourth house I've lost. Like, the system, you know, it enjoys taking things away from you. And so it wouldn't be the fourth, it would be the third. Because the one, when I got my brain injury, the house that, you know, was mine. And then I moved into my ex's. And then when we got divorced, he lost his. And so I had to get booted out of that one. And then the other one was because the next one I rented, and we rented a place, and then they sold it out from under us as soon as we moved in. And then this one. So if they come in and take this one, it's just like I said, well, at this point I could buy 5 more, so I'm not worried about it. And I honestly feel that way. I mean, I really had to come to that realization this morning where I was like, man, really? I mean, I love this place. I have a strong relationship. I've got a lot of energy put in here. And this has been my existence for the past 3 years. But I mean, in all honesty, it does. I mean, I want to rip out the kitchen, redo the whole kitchen. I want to rip out the bathroom. I've got to do the whole other building, completely winterize. I want to take all my windows out, put in all new windows. I want to redo the floor. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I want to do here. And at that point, it's like, well, I could just get a different place. It's not like I'm keen on the neighborhood. I don't want to be, I mean, this has been a challenge, even though I completely see why I was put here. But it has been a challenge to be so isolated and not have things in common with people, where, I mean, I am not like the people around here at all. And I mean, maybe there's another person like me somewhere hidden that I don't know, but, I mean, this isn't a place where I see myself as settling down and retiring or something like that. To me, I want to get a little ranch. I would want to have a place where it's like near the water. And since the ocean is going to be moving, and there's going to be probably a lot more water, so I don't know where, because when the pole shift switches, or is it just because the evil goes down and they really have been creating the cold weather? Never had to be cold weather. That's what I've heard. But when the poles shift, but still, like, what about the Andes and the like? There's a lot of really snowy, cold places. So I think that there has to actually be coldness, but I think they've definitely manipulated it. But anyways, it's supposed to switch, and everything is supposed to go tropical. But I want to have a little ranch, my own little farm. I can see it. I see a little white house, the brown doors, kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's in New Mexico. I don't know where it's at, but it is a certain kind of style. There's definitely, I'm gonna have my own little barn, my workshop, because I want to learn to do stained glass. I want to start making pottery. That's all I want to do, is just do art stuff, and spend my time doing that, and then also helping people with healing. Because, I think a lot of people, are lost in that aspect of life. But, so and I want to have some little animals, and I want to have some people who are there helping, like a farmhand or whatever, somebody who actually, helps with the garden and stuff. Cause I want to definitely have, my own food that I'm growing. And I want to have, I saw baby donkey the other day. They had just been born, and I keep seeing these donkey videos, but this one where this baby was just born, and the mom was so excited. And these little donkeys, they're cute like goats. They do little dances. They get all excited. It's so cute. And so I really want to have some goats. I definitely want to have some donkeys now. And I want to have I want to have some sheep, because I also would like to make blankets made out of my own wool. And so I want to have some chickens. I want to have just my own little, like, place. And this place where I'm at right here isn't set up for that. I'm in a neighborhood out in the middle of nowhere where they're building on a whole fucking attachment to it or something. I can't even remember what they call it. But yeah, this isn't like how I want to live. It's fucking noisy. When people go out and start running those loud machinery and stuff, or like the leaf blower thing. Like you get those in the city too. There's so much noise in the city. The other day I was even watching this movie, and this lady was feeling really stressed about something, and she was in the house with her kids, and the guy across the street was building himself a little building or something, and so he's doing one of those big electric saws. Just the noise from that, she was like, she had to go over and say something to him. And then he was so happy about what he was building, she didn't have the heart to tell him how much noise he was making and offered him lemonade. But I completely get, like, people who are out making noises in neighborhoods so extreme like that don't realize, like, it's affecting everybody around you. Like, it's making us all feel on edge. And that's why I think we need more space between each other. I mean, we should all, I mean, I've definitely been out here sawing and building and hammering and making my own noise. We all should be allowed to make our noise. We just shouldn't be crammed on top of each other because it's fucking intense. And so, yeah, I want my place, you know, to be its own little place where I don't have to leave and go somewhere unless I want to leave and go somewhere. And I want to have some more dogs. I want to get Stella some more dogs, you know, so she has her own little pack. So anyways, you know, I feel optimistic and positive about the future. I'm sure the hell not going to sit here and think like, oh, I got to pay this house. It's all I got. Because as far as I'm concerned, any fucking storm can come and take this away from me. So I'll pay that instead of buying silver. And then they come in with the fucking, it's been raining nonstop. I'm sure they're flooding somewhere. I mean, California's underwater. So whatever they're going to do. And the whole motherfucking side of the hill across the street is dead. Like, there is nothing that is blooming over there at this point. And I keep looking over there at those trees and thinking, okay, well, maybe if they're like some kind of not all evergreens or something, maybe there's just way more trees than there is of these evergreens than I thought. But I don't know. I don't think, I mean, it would be like 75%. It would be like 20% of the forest is evergreens and the rest are all these other trees. Well, that's not how my yard is. It's not how any of the yards around here are. And my neighbor next door, which is so strange too, is because when they did their fence, they did like this small area in their thing. They didn't do their whole, their property line. I did my property line when I did my fence. It's like, this is my space. Keep the fuck out. It's got signs up. They did like a part of their space, but left the rest. And so the other day he was out clearing this because they've got a whole huge part of their yard that is out there just. And so he was out there clearing this part. And I said, oh, are you going to move your fence out now and give yourself more yard? And he said, yeah, well, I think we're going to cut down all these trees. I don't understand. Fuck, I don't understand this. We're going to move in the forest and cut down the fucking trees. So, and cut down all these beautiful trees, the ones that aren't, I looked and I don't think they're dead. I think they have one over there. I've got way more dead trees. But so they're going to cut down all these big, beautiful trees, but they don't know how much it's going to cost because they want to get more sun because they put their raised beds in the backyard in the dark. I was like, well, that's why I put my beds out by the street because that's the only sunny spot. And so it still doesn't get enough sun. I mean, you still got to figure out like what you can grow here because like it's not just the sun, it's also the soil is very acidic and will only grow certain things. And so, you know, I don't know. They're going to go cut down all those trees to move their fence. It's like, people do things to me that just make no sense at all. I don't get how people's minds work. I don't get how they process stuff. But when you look across the street at that side of that hill, side of the mountain, it's fucking dead. So yeah, they could come in here with a windstorm, mud flood, anything that they want to bring at this point, and they could put my house under mud. But I made sure I made that payment. And insurance ain't gonna pay shit. Nobody, all these people are in total loss. They're not gonna get money for their houses. There may be some people who are getting payouts, but it's gonna bankrupt the system. There's is more houses. They don't have the money to pay this many people's houses. And the Ohio situation is just getting worse. People are getting sick. A woman, yeah, she's got all these cancer-causing chemicals in the side of her urine. Like, there's no telling what is inside of these people, just destroying their insides. And so I'm not gonna, oh, well, I'm just gonna be responsible and pay my house and sit here and just wait until they take it from me. They can take it in a storm or anything. I'm gonna, get the silver and be prepared. And when they redo, when the economy busts here, like it's going on in all these different places, they got their own stuff going on. Whatever they're seeing on the news, that's just a part of it. But here in America, our prices were so inflated, so driven up. Like, as far as I understand, in Mexico, you can still buy a house for like $26,000. But it's not like that here, because we were driven up with inflation so hard. And so when the gall collapses and goes down, the price of the houses are going to go back to that price. It's going to go back to, they are saying the price is in the 50s. And so, houses were like $6,000. So that's why I told my daughter, like, at this point, I could buy several houses. I'm not going to sit here and stress, especially when this one, I need to put so much money into it to begin with. I mean, I love it. Now, if I get to keep it, I'm fucking going to do it for sure. I love it. And then I'm going to, make it available for travelers, because it's such a great location for traveling and being able to see this area, and skiers, but not just any old partiers or something. I want to find more of a responsible group of people, like a traveling group or something, because Airbnb doesn't do. I think VRBO is a little bit better, but oh my God, all you gotta do is look up the Airbnb nightmares. Oh, Jesus, there's so many. Like, there's a lot of people, even through this, the quarantine and stuff like that, where people were losing their house. So many people are losing their houses every day. I mean, the amount of people going homeless is insane. But that so many people have moved into Airbnbs. Even my sister, that's what my brother had gotten her when she was about to go homeless. He got her an Airbnb. And so she's living in an Airbnb in someone's basement. And so there's a lot of people who got Airbnbs to move into. And oh my God, some of these houses are trashed. It is insane. I mean, there's some damage they can do over a weekend, but Jesus Christ. Like, I can't believe some of the damage. Like, I can't even imagine walking into your house and seeing, just the dump fees for all of the garbage and stuff that these people are leaving. And, oh, it's disgusting. I can't even believe how people are willing to live. Like, it is like, man, you have got to learn to respect yourself. You have got to learn to love yourself and set a higher standard for yourself. Like, but that's going to be, to me, that's the rapture. The people who aren't capable, they're going to just keep leaving. They're going to keep going. There's going to be a huge mass death thing that's still going to come to America, where there's going to be a ton of people are going to die at once. That's still going to go just like it's gone in other places. And I still think it's going to probably be California, but boy, Ohio, there's a lot of places at this point. Like, it could literally be anywhere. And there's more secrets coming out too. Like, where I said some of this stuff is going on because of the history of places. And so Tennessee is another one that has a hidden city under the city or something. I just saw somebody doing a video about that the other day. And I think maybe it was Georgia, maybe it's Atlanta. I don't know, but it's more and more of these places. I swear to God, there's Chattanooga too. I don't know. There's a bunch of these cities that have cities underneath. And I think when you've got this history, that's what we're really dealing with, is the history of the places, and like the souls that came in to go full circle. And so a lot of you people came in to fight against this system in whatever way, I mean, some people are. There's souls telling them, go protest, and you may not make it, but it doesn't matter because you're just here for that. And so, that's why you got to listen to your soul. It's like whatever your soul is telling you. If they're pushing you, and they'll push, if you're not listening, they'll turn the fucking lights on. They'll just nonstop sit there and just repeat in your head until you fucking take action. And that is your higher self. Just, it's like you can't not do what you're supposed to do. It's impossible. And however long it takes you to realize that is the destiny. It isn't like where you can make something happen. It's when it happens, that's when it was going to happen. That's when it was always going to happen. And that's what we're all waiting for, is when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, all of that. So there's a lot that is going to happen, but we don't have control over when, how, or any of that stuff. So, but there's certain things that have to happen to move us into the age of Aquarius. And it's going to be a lot of loss. And because it's all about the healing and the growth. It's all about making something new. We're not going to go back into this same toxic environment, this reality that was so toxic. It's going to be way, way different. And, just in some of this stuff too, in my messages and stuff that I've been getting lately, just like, you got to understand, you put this work into this. This is your victory. This is yours. You tried to tell other people and they didn't listen, then that's their lesson. You don't have to give up what you have gained because nobody else would listen to you. And that's been a strong theme, and so it is about boundaries. It's about, everybody has lessons, and and some of the people who are going to be leading the path, who are going to be doing well, there's going to be a lot of people who want to take something back. Like, well, that's not fair. You got to remember it is fair. You've done the work. You've been working on yourself. Well, they've been going to fucking concerts, out to dinner, just pretending like life goes on and accepting abuse and shit like that. So when you have been doing the work, don't feel guilty about what is going to start happening for you. When things start going good, don't let other people bring you back and pull you back. Stand strong, be a role model. And, don't just give everything away and bring yourself back to where you were. That would be your lesson. So, there's a whole lot of stuff to learn. I mean, like I said, like even when things are changing in abundance and receiving, there's lessons. There's still lessons. It's not like you go into easy street. You got to learn boundaries. You got to learn lessons. There's a lot of stuff to learn. So the lessons are going to keep going. It's not like just all of a sudden it's going to be like, oh, everything is just, things will be easier, but there's still new lessons for you to learn because you're still developing yourself. And, every person has their own stuff, but they have been, giving me a lot of those kinds of messages lately too. So anyways, just, we're right on the verge of, significant things happening. I mean, there's nuke planes up in the air all day. We got all these threats. Money is crashing. I mean, they're killing people. It's crazy. So anyways, to me, don't just be going out to go out and party and think life is just, if you just pretend like everything is normal. As one thing too, where there's a lot more people now who are noticing, it's funny too, because I saw this one guy yesterday and he's like, I don't know what's happened on my FYP. I'm just really, I don't understand what all this shit is that I'm seeing now. I want to get back to my love and light. where I'd just have that all day. And then he got back to it, you know, the next day or something. He said, oh, I'm just so glad to be back in the love and light. And then I see these other people who are more like me, the spiritual people. And this one guy was like explaining, he looked up spiritual, and it's like it is your connection to yourself, through yourself. And, you know, all of that, you know, figuring out who you are. And, he said, it, you know, it has nothing to do with meditation and crystals and veganism and stuff like that. Like, you guys are trying to say that's what it has to do with, that's being spiritual. It's not. Being spiritual is this. And, you know, those things, you know, meditation can help you in your practice, all the things that I have been saying. But, you know, that's the love and light people. They are very much like, don't focus on any negative. You don't see the world as it is. Pretend the world is something different. And if you are lowering your vibration to see the truth, then you have got to, they think it is about, you know, ignoring the truth makes you high vibration. And using your crystals and meditate, you know, just go meditate and pretend like nothing's going on, then you're spiritual. It's like, that's not spiritual. That is ignoring. That's distraction. That's ego. There's a lot of stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of people who think they're, you know, all godly and all this, and they're going to find out it's not about that. It's not about, you know, the things that people think. It's about the road to yourself. It's figuring you out, figuring out your connection, the journey to self-love, the journey to self-acceptance. That's the journey that we're on. And everything else is a distraction. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.